number one, I think we're starting with Colorado, Seattle. So this one's interesting. It's the first time that a franchise will play its first ever series against the reigning Stanley Cup champions. As we know, Seattle had a really good year, but Colorado down the stretch had the third best record in the National Hockey League since January 1st when they went 32-11-4. Bobby, you're the Western guy. I'll start with you first. Who are you picking in this one?
I'm taking Colorado. I mean, I'll just be brief with this one. Colorado, I think it's 5 or 6 games. I think Seattle will find a way to win a home game.
I need 5 or 6. You can't pick one.
I'll take 5. I'll take 5. I think Colorado wins at home, and Seattle finds a way to go back there for Game 5 by winning one at home in front of their fans. But they're just too deep.
Yeah. Same with me. Avs in 5. I think Seattle gets one at home.
They've still got some. They've done some pretty good stuff this year. They can score goals. All right, you're going to go 5. Let's go Colorado in 7. I think Seattle can still play. They play an in-your-face grinding kind of game. I think they can still hang in there. All right,
I like that.
Moving on.
Yep.
Dallas, Minnesota. This one's interesting. Dallas finished 5 points ahead of Minnesota in the standings. Both played really good seasons. Dallas, since the February 1st, is the 7th best team in the National Hockey League, and Minnesota is 9th. All right, Yorkie, you get to go first.
I'm going to go with the underdog here. I like the moves Billy Guerin did for Minnesota coming down the stretch. I can see them stealing one in Dallas to start putting the heat on, and I'm going to say Wild in 7.
Okay.
I'm just going to do the exact opposite. I think this is going to be one of the best series of the first round for me. And it's a series that I'm going to watch a lot of. I'm just going to take the team with the better special teams and go with Dallas, but I think it's going to be a 7-game series. So Dallas in 7.
I like Jake Ottinger and the way he's played. Stars in 5.
Nice.
Okay.
Somehow there has to be a little bit of upset every once in a while, and I think you'll see some team just get really hot. I like the Dallas Stars. All right, and finally in the West, Edmonton, LA. Edmonton was on fire. January 1st, second best team in the National Hockey League. They went 37-7 in their last 44 games. They own the best power play in the league. 10th best goals against. Their penalty kill, though, is a concern, which always seems to be a concern in the postseason. Bobby, who are you taking?
See, you know what, though? Their penalty kill is actually better than LA's. So if you're giving me a bad penalty kill against the number 1 power play and the hottest team in hockey with Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl, I'm taking Edmonton. And if I'm Edmonton, there's one team I don't want to play. Excuse me, it is the LA Kings. But right now, they're too hot. I think Edmonton's got as much of a chance to win as anybody right now. So I'm going to take Edmonton, but LA doesn't lay down. It's going to be a 6-game series.
Yeah. No, I loaded up on Oilers in my pool. McDavid's on a different planet. Draisaitl has proven to be one of the best playoff players in the league. I love this guy. He's so good when it's tight spaces. I'm going Oil. I think they're going to come in and roll them. I was going to take a sweep, but I'll go Edmonton in 5.
Okay.
Does goaltending concern you?
Not a ton.
Well, your boy Skinner. He was hot down the stretch. One of the top goalies.
I just put him on the list because he's a goaltender. He's actually played really well, but he's a rookie goaltender. That's my only concern. But maybe that doesn't matter. Maybe they don't pay any attention. They just play.
Yeah. Maybe it's a good thing.
All right. I'll throw this out. I meant to mention this before. The first playoff series between the Oilers and Kings, which was back in 2022, last year, Connor McDavid matched the NHL record for most multi-point games in a single round with 6. McDavid 14 points overall, which equaled the most by any player in the first round in 29 years. I guess it just feels like Edmonton's probably going to come out on top. So Oilers in 5. I don't want them to waste any time. What did you say, Yorkie? You had the Oilers
5.
in what?
Oilers in 5.
Okay. All right, on to the West or on to the East we go, shall we?
Nope, we got one more.
Where are we starting? Oh,
we got one more. Vegas and
that's right.
Vegas and win.
I apologize. The Mark Stone one. See, Mark Stone comes back. He's all healed up, ready to play in the postseason. They've 3-0 against Winnipeg this season. They were really good down the stretch. If that really, I still think the way you play going into the playoffs is important. I thought they were pretty good down the stretch. Since February 1st, Winnipeg is 22nd overall at 14-14-2. While Vegas was the second best team since February at 22-4-5. Bobby, you take who you want.
I got Vegas in a very, very close series. I think Winnipeg is built for the playoffs with their size. But I still just have to. I like Vegas. I think I agree with a lot of what you said, but I think this is a 6 or 7. I'm going to say Vegas in 7.
Wow.
Yeah. I've got. I got Vegas. I agree. Who's going to be there? Who's starting in nets for Vegas come playoff time? That's my question. Is it Jonathan Quick? Wally?
Nobody knows, right?
I don't know. I would assume so.
Yeah, you would assume, right?
Yeah, I don't know.
Is he? He's got pedigree. I know he's older, but I like Vegas. I like Vegas. I do agree with Bob on Winnipeg. Man, they're big, they're heavy, but you got a rested Mark Stone. I'll go Vegas in 6.
All right. Vegas in 6 for me as well. I don't know. I don't like the way Winnipeg's played down the stretch. And I always remember Curtis Lecision a long time ago with the Sens, and they didn't play well down the stretch. He goes, you can never back into the playoffs. If you're not playing well going in, it's usually a quick out for you. I can't see him being any different. All right. On to the East. Look at how quickly we rolled through that, gentlemen. Good job.
I like it.
Oh, here we go. So Boston, Florida. Do we need to spend any time on this?
Nope. Yorkie, you lead us off. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Florida wins a game in this one. Maybe two. I think Florida's. I'm going to go Bruins in 6. I think Florida's going to surprise them, give Boston a little bit of test, but then Boston's going to figure it out and win it in 6.
It's exactly what I had written down.
I will
Boston in 6.
Okay.
Yeah, I think
Boston
Florida wins one
Ottawa.
home and wins one on the road.
Okay.
They split the first 2, and then Boston figures it out.
Boston and Ottawa, the only 2 teams this year. Sorry, Florida and Ottawa, the only 2 teams this year to beat Boston more than once.
Yeah, exactly.
So I think you may have a chance. I do like the way Florida has played.
Yeah.
Again, it comes to goaltending for me, though.
Yeah, and like it looks like Lions the guy. I don't trust goalie Bob in the playoffs. I think they go with Lyon. I think Lyon's the guy that starts.
I think so too.
Boston in 5. They're just gonna have one bad game at the beginning because they haven't had any any kind of adversity all season long. So they'll have one of those games. Is this gonna be like Tampa though, where Tampa rolled to 62 wins and then got swept by Columbus?
It could happen. It could happen.
No, not here. Nope, I don't see it.
All right. Next up, Carolina and the Islanders. Boy, this was that division was a dogfight this year. I do like Carolina the way they play, but the Islanders down the stretch certainly played really, really well. So, Yorkie, who you got? Carolina and the New York Islanders.
Man, I hated how Carolina played in that game against Ottawa. And that was a game that they kind of needed to solidify winning the division, but it was the end of the season. Man, they just have such a hard time scoring, and I can't stand their power play. Their power play looked terrible. I'm taking the Islanders. And I love Pajot in the playoffs. The Honey Badger in the playoffs.
Yep.
I'm gonna take me some Honey Badger. I'm going with the Islanders. Matt Barzal is healthy. He's going to be back in, and they brought in Bo Horvat. and they get pretty good goaltending. I this is going to be my one upset in the first round. Islanders over Carolina.
In what?
7. 7.
I already
Okay.
I already had it written down. I have the Islanders.
No, you
7 as
didn't.
well. Yeah. I did. I
So
don't
Carolina
even care
has
about
won
the head-to-head.
3 straight games.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. They've won 3 straight.
I just
Uh,
both these teams know how to win in the playoffs, by the way. Like, both teams have been to the conference finals. I think the New York Islanders they barely missed the Stanley Cup a couple years ago. So they've had some guys that have been there and been through it, and so has Carolina. But I just think they're bigger and heavier, and it's going to be a big series. It's going to be a big, heavy series. And guys like, they're not going to hide, but guys like Aho and Teravainen, and they're not going to be able to do what they want to do as much as they have been in the past. So, yeah, I like the Islanders a lot.
And they've got a big and Carolina. Wally, Carolina's missing Svechnikov too, and he's one of those guys that's big, strong, and skilled. They're going to really miss him in the playoffs.
Yep.
Carolina. I can't go against my boy Calvin DeHaan. Carolina in 6.
I like that.
There you go.
Because I want to see. I mean, I do like Pajot, but anyway, they have the 30th power play. If that doesn't work, they're not going to win many games for the New York Islanders.
True.
We'll see.
Barzell's back. Right. Barzell's back though. He's the guy that stirs the drink on that power play. He's back. That power play is getting an immediate boost.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, let's move on.
It's gonna be a great series.
Okay. New Jersey and the New York Rangers. The battle of the, I guess, crossing the Hudson. The Devils were 3-0-1 against the Rangers this season, and we've all seen how well they played. Who do you like in this game? Bobby, you can start because Yorkie keeps taking all your picks.
Was I torn on this one? Because of the playoff experience, I edged towards the Rangers a little bit. But very hard to disagree with the year that the Devils have had. I just don't see a way that the Rangers' depth and experience doesn't come through. So I am taking the Rangers, and I'm going to take them in 7.
Man, again, Bob, again. I'm going.
No way.
The moves they've made, but my biggest reason is Shesterkin.
Yeah.
He started to play a lot better in the second half, and I think he's the best goalie in the game right now. Debate with Vasilevsky. I'm taking DJ, Zbad, and the New York Rangers in 7.
Mika Zibanejad turns 30 years old, I think, tomorrow. So based on that is the reason I take the New York Rangers. I just like Mika Zibanejad and the Rangers. I think their goaltending is the difference in this one. So Rangers in can I say 7? I'm going to say 7 too.
There you go.
So finally, we come to the Leafs and Lightning, which for our little area seems to be one of the most exciting ones because, well, they're 2 pretty good hockey teams, but are they really down the stretch that good? I didn't like Tampa's game, right? Since February 1st, they're 24th in the league at 14, 15, and 5. Yorkie, you take Toronto. Are you a Toronto guy, Yorkie, or are you going to stick with the Tampa Bay Lightning and Nick Paul?
I am a Ryan O'Reilly guy. I love Ryan O'Reilly. Love how he plays, and I like how Achari plays. I like how Jake McCabe plays. If they can just get decent goaltending, I think they'll win this series. I think this is the year that Toronto exercises the demons and beats Tampa in the first round. I'm going to go Leafs in 6. Wow. No,
oh my God.
Great minds, man. But for different reasons. Tampa's exhausted. They look exhausted. They look fatigued.
Yep.
They for the first time ever, they look tired of John Cooper, and that's not a slight at John Cooper or the players. I'm just saying they're all tired of being around each other. they all want a summer of rest. It's got to be exhausting going that deep 3 years in a row. I'm taking Toronto because the Leafs are exhausted. I'm sorry, because Tampa's exhausted. The only thing that bothers me is, does Vasilevsky turn it on?
Steal it.
And if he does, they can steal. But I just think Toronto finds a way. They made all the moves that they needed to make. They're big. They're heavy. Their goaltending's the only thing for me. But outside of that, I think they find a way. Toronto in 6.
I just don't like their goaltending, and I wonder if Tampa has one more run left in it before it's got to find some new pieces. So Braden Point's a 50 goal scorer.
Mm-hmm.
I like Victor Hedman in that blue line. Andre Vasilevsky is the difference. Tampa in 7.
Not a bad call though.
I can't.
This is such a pick'em series.
Yeah. And you know what's crazy? Nobody even talked about Victor Hedman this year. It's almost like he's just kind of resting and recharging, getting ready for maybe one more playoff run. But the Leafs can't lose again. They can't lose
regular
again.
Season rocking chair.
Yeah, he just if Toronto loses, they will burn that city down, right down, and I think they're all gone. If they lose in the first round, everyone's fired. They're going, and from president, GM, everyone, they're all done. I think if they. So the pressure. How about the pressure on Marner and Matthews? Like that is incredible right now. To me, this is the can't miss series to watch.
Agreed.
If you can control Marner and I guess Matthews, can you win the series? And then by that I mean, remember when Yorkie, when you had Yash and Buffalo just shut him down, even though he was the Hart Trophy finalist. If you can do that to those two guys, can you win this series?
No,
that
because
seems like an obvious answer.
Because Nylander's been good this year, and he was decent in the last. I think he's learned some lessons of how you need to play in the playoffs.
Yeah,
and I still like John Tavares. I think he's such a smart player. He's so good. He's so good from the hash marks in around the net, tipping pucks. Not enough people talk about him. And look at their defense too. Giordano, he's a guy that's almost done. They got some storylines there that lead me to believe that once they get winning, the media is just going to eat up like the Giordano story, the Ryan O'Reilly stories. So I just think they're deeper than they've ever been. They've got some grit. They've got some size. And you're right, though, Wally. The goaltending, I just think it has to be good. It doesn't have to be great. I just think it needs to be decent.